Let me tell you all something. I was raised by narcissistic parents. My mother was a covert narcissist and my dad was a grandiose narcissist. And, I had a horrible childhood. And, growing up in the narcissistic family, I used to feel obligated, yeah, obligated to make my parents feel good. Even though they used to mistreat me, they used to abuse me, they used to swear at me, you know, after some time I used to crawl back to them, yeah, and I used to seek forgiveness, and I used to tell them that maybe I was doing wrong, maybe I was messing things up, maybe I was creating the problem, and that's the reason they hit me, they hurt me, and they abused me. So I used to crawl back, I used to try and make them feel good even though they were making me feel miserable. Yeah, so that's how nasty things are in narcissistic families. They cripple you emotionally, yeah, and this is because of this trauma bonding. Yeah, they will give you tiny crumbs every now and then, and that keeps you hooked onto them. Yeah, they are never going to be evil all the time. Sometimes, I mean, once in a blue moon, they will be good with you. Yeah, and that's what creates that addiction cycle. Yeah, and when they used to hit me, mistreat me, criticize me, shame me in front of the others, swear at me, I used to wipe off my tear, and then after a couple of hours, I used to go back to them. Yeah, and I used to, start communication with them, and I used to tell them, I'm sorry, I know why you treated me that way, because I was a difficult child. I was being wicked, I was being bad, I was being naughty, and that's the reason you hit me. It's absolutely okay. I was never allowed to develop a healthy sense of self. All I was trained was to save the relationship. I never wanted to lose them. I never wanted to be abandoned. And because of that, I was swallowing, and I was drinking all of the poison and nasty things that was thrown at me. Yeah, I was wanting to be the greater person, I was wanting to be the bigger person, yeah, by tolerating everything and then forgetting it, and then reaching out to my narcissistic parent, and then telling them that don't feel burdened, don't feel guilty. If you slapped me or if you mistreated me, it was because I was being difficult, I was being naughty. Yeah, I mean, it's not your fault, you are a good parent. Yeah, so since childhood, I felt that it's my duty to make them feel good. Yeah, even though they were never making me feel good, but I felt obligated. I felt as if it was my duty to make them feel good, because if I don't make them feel good, they are going to make me feel more miserable. You can say that it was a kind of a a survival mechanism. I mean, if you understand what I mean. So it was basically to survive that family, survive that relationship. It I had taken up the role to be their therapist, to be their counselor, to be their well-wisher, and to be someone who keeps making them feel good. Yeah, someone who keeps telling them about the good things they do and the good qualities they have, whereas in reality they were evil individuals. They were psycho individuals. They were just not normal and healthy. They were abusive. They were mistreating their children. But we had a distorted sense of self. We did not have any kind of self respect or self esteem or self worth. There was no sense of agency that was allowed to develop. It was all infused, and it was all entangled. My worth was based on their validation. If they didn't validate, I was nothing, I was worthless piece of shit. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, I mean, if you guys have also experienced this, but yes, growing up in narcissistic family, I mean, being raised by narcissistic mother and father, I felt obligated. I felt that it was my duty to make them feel good, even though they were the ones who regularly made me feel miserable.